Absolutely fantastic. So we are good to go. All right. Now we're expecting a lot more people to join us today. So if you have a friend, a cousin, a brother, if somebody you know has been trying to figure out what to do in terms of searching for a job and landing a job, and more importantly, having a strategy and a framework to helping them get there, then invite them to this session. Okay, very important. So share the link, send it to them, and let's have an amazing time together. So today's session would center around what's the next thing to do, looking at the different immigration changes and what has happened over the last couple of months. Okay, I'll drive the session today with my slide. We're going to have an amazing, amazing time. And like I said, get one or two more people into the session today, and let's get right into it. I want us to have an amazing interactive session. So if you have a question, make sure you pen it down and we'll have a Q&A before we wrap up the session today. All right. So let's dive into the main meat of our session. Today's session, the topic is what next after the US H1-B changes UK immigration restrictions for job seekers. So what next? So many changes over the last couple of months. And for a lot of people, you have confusion, panic, and they really don't know what to do. All right. So a lot of people are asking the question, how long is it now going to take me to settle in the UK? How long will it take for me to get my ILR, my indefinite leave to remain, and so on and so forth? We'll answer some of those questions today and keep the session as interactive as possible. For those of you joining us for the very first time, Tenalytics, for us at Tenalytics, our major focus is on helping people land high-paying jobs in the tech ecosystem. And over the last 5 years, we've helped over 3,000 people make that transition from non-technology roles into career path within the tech ecosystem. We've helped nurses become healthcare data reporting analysts. We've helped accountants become project managers. We've helped civil engineers become data analysts. And I'm going to highlight how exactly they were able to do that, the framework, and how you can also take that away from today's session and ensure you are also able to implement the same. All right. And for those of you joining us for the very first time, my name is Adeza Suleiman. I'm a technology expert and also the founder of Tenalytics. I have over a decade experience cutting across management consulting and data analytics. So like so many of you here today, my first degree was not in anything related to technology or anything related to computer science. I studied industrial chemistry in the university, and my very first job out of the university was in management consulting. But over the last 12 years, my focus has been within the data ecosystem. I've worked as a data analytics consultant, data science consultant for companies in the UK, the US, Canada, lived and worked in the UK, worked remotely for companies in the US. Back when I was in Nigeria, I've worked as a management information systems analyst, a fancy way for saying a data analyst with one of the largest privately owned energy conglomerates in sub-Saharan Africa. I've worked as a data analytics consultant with FITC, owned by the Bankers Committee and the Central Bank of Nigeria. My experience spans across 5 sectors, from sports to energy to financial services, educational technology, and automobile. And I'll be sharing my experience with you today. Okay, so let's have an amazing, exciting time. And the focus for me would be to show you, I'll help you navigate the path on how to stay calm through the chaos and select the right progressive career path. Okay, the right progressive career path. How do you select the right career path? How do you go all in and ensure you're able to extract immense value? All right, so let's get right into it. There have been so many changes lately, and people have been asking me questions. What do I do? Are there still jobs? How do I navigate the current immigration ecosystem? How do I apply to jobs? And so on and so forth. Okay. And I always tell them, in the midst of chaos, and I'm telling you as well, when there is time of chaos, time of fear, confusion, always remember that facts are your friend. Okay, focus on the facts. What are the facts? Are there still jobs? Can I actually land a job? Or do you have a situation where you have to leave the country because there are no jobs anymore? So you want to focus on the facts. And so many things happening today across the UK, the US, Canada, centers around three major or three broad categories. All right. So one of the first things you'd see and you'd have noticed is a lot of political undertone. Okay, so there's a political mandate to restore control in quotes over immigration. All right. So apparently immigration has gone out of control and they want to restore control. But does that really make any sense? Okay, we can get into the conversation of the political undertones and so on and so on, but that's a conversation for another day. Okay, so that's one thing you'd see happening. We want to restore control. Immigration has gone overboard. How do we bring control back? The second thing you'd see across these different regions is they are refocusing on higher skilled roles or higher skilled talents. So let's take the UK, for example. Prior to July this year, if you had, if you were a chef or a cook, which falls under the required qualifications framework, the RQF level 3. So an RQF level 3 is pretty much somebody who has a high school certificate. So you've not gone to a university, you don't have a degree. Okay. So the complexity of that job is the complexity of somebody who's just gone through high school or A levels. Okay. That's the RQF level 3. So before the changes or before the reforms, if you had an RQF level 3 role, you could qualify for sponsorship. So the chef could get sponsorship, the cook could get sponsorship. But today, the UK is simply saying that the roles that would qualify for sponsorship are no longer the RQF level 3, level 4, level 5, but they have to fall under RQF level 6. And RQF level 6 simply shows the complexity level of somebody who's gone through university. So you have a degree or thereabout. It doesn't necessarily mean that to get that job, you must have a degree. All it simply means is the complexity of doing that job would be the complexity level of somebody who's gone through the university. So countries are now refocusing on higher skill talents. And of course, you'd also see the general conversation around balancing domestic labor interests and the political pressure that also comes with it. Okay. So are there people in Canada, are there Canadians or permanent residents that can do this job compared to bringing in somebody from outside Canada or a temporary resident to take up that job? Are there people in the US citizens, green card holders that can actually do this job? So these are the conversations you'd hear today. Okay. And a lot of people have asked for my own opinion. What do you think about this, Adeza? Is it sustainable? Do you think all these reforms would hold over the long term? Okay. And I'll give you my own general perspective to this. And what I know, what I think would happen is very simple. These reforms are not sustainable in any shape or form. And I'll give you two reasons. And this is my own personal opinion on why I think it's not going to last and it's not going to be sustainable. Okay. And number one, I said this yesterday for those, if you joined me on an Instagram live yesterday, I talked about this extensively. Okay. The first reason why I believe these are unsustainable policies is because of the demographic pressure across most of these countries. Okay, so demographic pressures. Pardon my handwriting, okay? Demographic pressures. And what does this mean? Okay, it simply shows that you have an aging population across board. The major economies, the US, the UK, Canada, the population are aging, or the population is aging rather. So what you tend to find in the UK, let's take the US, for example, for a start. The average age in the US is 39. Okay. 61 million Americans, representing 18% of Americans, That 61 million are between the ages of 65 and above. So 61 million Americans are 61 million of the population are 65 and above, 18% of the population of the US. Same with the UK. The average age, median age in the UK is around 39 as well. 18 or 19% for the UK, which represents about 12.1 million, are between the ages of 65 and above. Same with Canada. Canada is even worse. In Canada, 19.8% of the population, representing about 8 million, 8.1 million people in the population, are between the ages of 65 and above. Now, the big question is, when you have an aging population and you don't have new people coming into the country to take over the labor shortages, to take over the jobs they are leaving behind, those that are retiring and leaving the workforce, there is really no succession plan this time around, not in a particular company, but in the country as a whole. That these countries would find themselves in hot water in the short term. Okay, because when you have an aging population, you want to bring in new people, fresh people, younger people, the young, population to fill in those gaps that will be left behind. If not, what you tend to see is a lot of pressure on old age security, a lot of pressure on healthcare, a lot of pressure on dependency ratio. Who will take care of these old people? Where are the dependents that will take care of them? Okay, and so on and so forth. So this is one reason why I feel these policies would not be sustainable. Okay, and these are my own opinion anyways. The second reason, and I'll give you just two reasons. Reason number two is immigration. Okay, people leaving these countries, leaving the US, leaving the UK, leaving Canada, and I can give you so many numbers and ratios and statistics and so on and so forth. But let's pick the UK for example. By the end of 2024, last year, 10,000 millionaires left the UK. 10,000 left the UK. Of course, for several reasons, including reforms to inheritance tax, reforms to capital gains tax. So for those that are even willing to stay and create jobs and opportunity, you are chasing them away with taxes, increase in tax reforms, and so on and so forth. So people are leaving in droves. And when people leave in droves, what happens? They create gaps and they create opportunities for others to fill. All right. In Canada, for example, by the end of last year, 2024, over 118,000 residents left Canada for good. 118,000. And the first 6 months in 2025, that's 2025, first 6 months, January to June, you've had over 54,000 people leave already. And usually what we've seen from Statistics Canada is majority of the people that leave, they leave in the second half of the year. So we are definitely going to see an increased number of exits in 2025 compared to 2024. When people leave their jobs, they take up their bags, uproot from their current residence and leave to other countries. What happens? They leave gaps behind. And this is the question we need to start asking. Okay? When there are gaps, it means that there are opportunities. And when there are opportunities, the big question we need to ask is, how do I get these opportunities? How do I find these opportunities? And how do I ensure I can plug in to these opportunities? Okay. And that's the question we'll be answering today. Now, even with the US saying that organizations who would be petitioning for the H1-B sponsorship for their employees would need to pay $100,000 per employee. Now, make no mistake, prior to Trump's declaration, organizations only paid roughly about $250. Okay, I'm not entirely sure of the exact amount, but it's not more than $200. It's not above 200. What I mean is it's not up to $300. It's between $200 to $250 per H1B employee sponsorship. And Trump moved this to what? $100,000. Ridiculous. But even at that, organizations are still fighting back. NVIDIA, for example, is saying that they will continue to sponsor despite the $100,000 fee. Okay. And I've kept a link to this. Okay, so you have the opportunity to click on so many things I'll be sharing with you today. And you have the opportunity to read, watch some of the videos, and so on. Now, just think about this. Like I said, when you are in a time of chaos, when you're in a time of confusion, facts are your friends. You want to look at the facts. You want to be sure that I'm looking at the facts. I'm looking at what is actually real. I'm not just getting scared by all the multitude of information coming at me at the same time. But I want to ask a question. My first question to the audience today. Imagine you are Jensen, the CEO of NVIDIA. NVIDIA, for example, sponsors an average of about 1,400 H1B every year, H1B sponsorship, 1,400. So now they would have to pay $100,000 per annum for this sponsorship. If you were Jensen, what type of employees would you sponsor? The lower level skilled employees or the higher level skilled employees? Low or high? Just type into the chat. Who would you sponsor, low or high? Okay, if you'd sponsor the lower level, type low, the higher level, type high. Okay, Wilma says high, higher level. Okay, high. Zelma says high. It's a no-brainer, right? And you're wondering, why is Adeza asking this question? It makes no sense for anybody to say low. And these are the things you need to start looking at and ask yourself the question, do I have high-level skills to compete for these type of jobs? If the different countries are saying we are implementing different policies, different immigration reforms, and it's a lot more stricter to get in sponsorship for an employee. In the UK, you want to get your skilled worker visa. In the US, you want your employer to petition for a H1B sponsorship. Ask yourself the question, am I worth it? Do I have the skills to get those type of jobs? Which this means that NVIDIA would be paying over $140 million every year for their H1B employees. So, and we've all agreed you'd focus on the higher level skilled workers. It's a no-brainer. If you're a low-level skilled worker, you can't make the cut. And once you know this, your perspective changes completely and you start to see things differently. You start to look at upskilling. You start to look at the jobs that are in high demand, the jobs that ensure that you compete for the type of jobs you can actually get. Okay. And that's what I'll show you how to do today. How do you identify those high demand roles, the roles where you'd have the opportunity to compete for the best type of jobs, irrespective of where you are? I'd also show you how to identify what employers want. All right. And of course, would look at how to position yourself, where to apply, and how to apply. Okay. So it's a framework that has worked for over 3,000 people. And I'll be sharing the framework with you today. So today is all about practical, real strategies that ensure that by the time you leave this session today, our session today would run for roughly an hour and a half. And then we take maybe another 30 minutes for questions and answers. By the time you are done, you have a very clear picture of where you should be headed. Okay. So, and I'm going to show you and lead my session with so many testimonials, so many success stories. So you can also key into and relate to this type of stories you'd hear today from people like you who came into a session like this. They got all the information that they needed. They knew what to do, how to start, and eventually they've landed a job today. Okay, so my colleagues would share the attendance form in the chat. If you want to receive my slides at the end of today's session, make sure you fill the attendance form. That's where you have the opportunity to get the recording, you get the slides, and every other material that I'll share with you today. Okay. Now, I want to show you an amazing professional that made the right decision, selecting the right career path. And today, just this month in October, he got his offer last month in September. He started the job this month in October. Okay. His name is William Patrick. Absolutely amazing gentleman. Now, how was William's story all about? William was a civil engineer back in Nigeria. He got a scholarship to study in Poland for his master's. So he had a background in civil engineering, construction back in Nigeria, went for his master's in Poland in civil engineering as well. But today, William is a strategy analyst. And I would walk you through William's story. Civil engineering background, okay? Construction. But he realized very quickly when he moved to Poland, and we had an extensive interview, and that's how I know exactly what William went through. We prepared him for his interviews. We worked with him every single step of the way. Now, William knew very quickly when he was doing his master's that he was going to find it difficult to land a job because all the career fairs, all the HR professionals, the recruiters he got to speak to, he found out that to get a job in construction in Poland, you need to know how to speak Polish. It was a major requirement. And the type of jobs he saw that would, give you the opportunity or the flexibility of using English, you don't necessarily need to speak Polish, were jobs around the technology ecosystem. So William started asking the right questions, even during his master's. Okay. I don't want to do the menial jobs. In his own words, I don't want to finish my master's. I had a scholarship from Nigeria. I don't want to do the menial jobs. I don't want to go work in the warehouse. Okay. I want to get a proper job. So he came to us. He wanted more. He came to us last year, January 2024. He joined our data analytics program. He had conversations before he registered, and we guided him to say, okay, based on what you want to achieve, based on the type of jobs available, go for the data analytics program. And that was what he did. All right. Now, while he was still doing his master's, he had not completed his master's. He started his data analytics journey with us. He completed the training and immediately he wrapped up his master's program. He landed a job in September this year, 2025, started the role this month in October as a strategy analyst with Marsh McLennan in Poland. So his role and his job today is a total shift from his background in civil engineering. You're going to listen to William yourself. And of course, he also made an announcement when he got this job. But there are two lessons I want you to pick from here. Okay. Because like I said, if you have any distractions, this is the time you want to take away all distractions, have your notepad and your pen, and focus on our session today. Two things you want to pick out of here. Number one is William did not just jump into a career path because, oh, his friend just got a job in that area. No, he knew what he wanted. He saw the type of jobs available. He had a conversation with us. He joined a session like this and eventually made a decision. One major point you want to pick out. The second point is, and this is a mistake a lot of people make, he did not wait until he was done with his master's. He did it in line, in parallel with his master's. Okay. So while he was doing his master's, simultaneously, he was also learning data analytics. And the advantage for him was before he even completed his program, his master's, he started applying to jobs. Okay. And when he was eligible to work full time, he landed a job immediately in the data analytics space. And he made this post when he landed the job. Okay. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to show you, like I said, would look at so many things today. Okay. Would look at so many things today. Would look at the posts. Let's see the posts William made. So this is William Patrick, absolutely phenomenal professional. This was the picture he took his first day he resumed at the office. Okay, so I'm excited to share that I've officially joined Marsh McLennan as a junior strategy analyst. It's been an amazing first few days getting to know the team, learning how data-driven insights support strategic and operational excellence across the business. So he made this post just 2 days ago. Now, one thing you would notice if you go to William's profile, okay, so let's go to William's profile very quickly. One of the first things you would notice is you both worked at Tenalytics. And I'm going to come back to explain why this is very important, why it is very, very important. All right. So if you scroll to his profile, you're going to see junior strategy analyst, started that this October, like I mentioned earlier. And then you'd see the data analyst with Tenalytics. This is what I call positioning. Okay. So one of the things we do is your LinkedIn optimization. How do you project yourself to the world? How do people know who you are and what you do? How do you show them that you're not a learner? You're not somebody who is just starting from scratch? Because you all agreed with me that if you were in Jensen's position, hiring and giving those employees H1-B sponsorship, you want employees that are highly skilled. And highly skilled employees are employees that have done the job before. So they're not coming to your company to do it for the first time. They're not coming to your company to learn on the job. They're coming to your company to hit the ground running. So if you can't show that you are already on that job, you won't find organizations looking out for you to give you that opportunity. Okay. So I'm going to play William's video. You'd listen to him. So this is William's profile. And of course, doing amazing stuff where he is at the moment. A civil engineer turn data analyst, but this time his actual job title is strategy analyst. So let's listen to William and let's hear what he has to say, how he was able to transition and so on. Okay. We did a full interview with William. The interview will be out very soon. And once it's out, we'll upload it on our YouTube and point you to go listen to him as well. All right. So I'm going to make sure you can all hear. And then, so I'll play it for a second and I'll rewind. You let me know if it's audible. If it's audible, then I'll come back and play again. All right. So if you can hear William, sorry, I think. If you can hear William, you give me the thumbs up. Okay. Or just type yes into the chat.
Hi, my name is William. Hi, my name is William Patrick. I first heard about Tenalytics when I was searching for an online program to build my tech skills and transition into a tech role. So a friend of mine recommended Tenalytics for me via LinkedIn, and I decided to give it a try. My experience as Tenalytics was outstanding. The live classes were engaging, the project were hands-on, and the mentorship section gave me the exact guidance I needed at the time. Also, the CV and drop-in section helped me to polish my presentation skills and my interview skills, and everything felt practical and relevant. So after the completion of my program, I landed a role as a strategic analyst in a financial company, and I can tell you that Tenalytics played a huge role for my current job right now. Now, what I'm using in my current job is exactly what I learned in Tenalytics, down from dashboard, creating dashboard in Power BI and Excel, as well as using SQL, how to present my data, how to generate insight and present those data to stakeholders as well. And I also tell you, if you have the commitment to joining Tenalytics, I did say you should go for it. Don't think much about it. Don't think about the money is so expensive and all that, but I believe me, you get the value for your money. At the end of the day, when you get this tech role, you'll be happy for yourself that, oh, Ten Analytics is the real deal. And finally, I want to say a huge thank you to Ten Analytics for guiding me all through my learning process down to me getting a job. So I really appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. Cheers, Ten Analytics. Bye.
So that's Patrick, okay? And that's Patrick's story. Like I said, Patrick has so much more to say, all right? And when the interview is out, you also get to listen to his full story from how he started back in Nigeria as a civil engineer and so on and so forth. And that's Patrick, okay? Today, Patrick moved from civil engineering. And what does he do? Supports the delivery of insurance and risk solutions, analyze performance data, KPIs, develop and maintain dashboards. Using what type of tools and technologies? Using SQL, Power BI, Microsoft Excel, Tableau, and so on and so forth. And we're going to come back to that. Okay. So this is a professional that knew the right career path to choose. He learned in the right way. He gained experience. You saw that on his LinkedIn. He did not say, I'm a learner at Tenalytics. He said, I'm a data analyst at Tenalytics. And I'll expand on that a bit more. You have someone like Sharon. All right. Sharon was a healthcare worker. She was a healthcare assistant. Today, Sharon is a business data analyst. So she worked as a healthcare assistant with the NHS. She came to Tenalytics in March this year, March 2025, because she wanted to move from healthcare. She wanted to do something else, do something more. Okay. So she came to us in March 2025 and she learned, we helped her with her packaging, her CV, her LinkedIn. I'm going to double down on that eventually. Applied to different roles. Eventually, in May, just about 3 months into the program, she landed a job as a business data analyst. Okay. So the link to also listen to Sharon is right here on the slide. So don't forget, fill the attendance so you don't miss out on all of these. You can go back, listen to these amazing professionals because I won't be able to play all the videos in today's session because of time. Sharon was in healthcare as a healthcare assistant and she wanted to move away from healthcare. And eventually, she got a job as a business data analyst, just like William, who was in civil engineering. So the big question is, how did they do it? Okay. And that's what I'll be sharing. The first thing would answer, the first question is identifying the right career path, because the career path you choose will determine if you get a job or not. When organizations want to sponsor, they'll sponsor you because they know that you can do the job and because it's a high demand role. So the chances of you getting a job would be very high. Okay. So question number one is, how do you identify the career path that are in high demand? And that's one question we've helped you answer. So for us at Tenalytics, one of the first things we do is every single year, we take intervals, different months. We take data from the major job boards, from LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Monster, Workopolis, CV Library, UK Visa Jobs, Built-in, and so on. We scrape these jobs, analyze to identify where the opportunities are. So where are recruiters? What roles are recruiters hiring for? Okay, so we look for those in-demand roles and we keep the analysis somewhere. Then we look at a reputable organization that has done similar analysis like us, because we don't want to analyze in a silo and think we've done the analysis, we know exactly what is required. So we validate our analysis using the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report. And this is a report that shows you the career path that would grow in demand. They are in demand today and they would grow, and the career path that will decline in demand. All right. And I'm going to show you a few screenshots from here. Again, you have the link right here on my slide. So if you haven't filled the attendance, make sure you do. so that you don't miss out on any of the links and anything, the slides essentially. So you can go back, click on these links. But let's see some of the roles. Okay. So this is an excerpt from the World Economic Forum showing you the job growth and the job decline between 2025 and 2030. Because if you want to transition today, you want to be sure that I'm not getting into a role where in the next few months I have to transition again. I want to stay relevant over the long term. Okay. So at the left hand side, you have the jobs that will grow. And at the right hand side, you have the jobs that will decline. So the jobs that are in demand today, if I want to move, say I'm in banking, for example, I want to move from just being a banking officer or working in audit or working as a logistics officer. I want to get a job as a cybersecurity professional. I want to get a job as a data scientist, as an agile project manager. Are these roles in high demand based on what the World Economic Forum says? And will they grow in demand? And number one on the list, when you look at the jobs that are high in demand today and would grow, data engineering. So you'd see the big data specialists, data warehousing specialists, the data engineers, database and network professionals. These are all data engineering roles. Then you get to find the data analyst and the data scientist, clearly indicated as AI machine learning specialist. These are your data scientists, the data analyst, and the data scientist. These are roles that if you find yourself in these roles today, you have these skills, you compete for the best jobs available. And this was the only reason why Patrick William was able to land a job as a strategy analyst in Poland, and why Sharon from a healthcare assistant joined our business analysis program and got a job as a business data analyst. They simply upskilled into areas that are in high demand. Again, you have the business analysts, you have the cybersecurity professionals, and you'd see that right here, security management specialists, information security analyst. You have the HR analyst and so many more. Okay. You have the data analyst and the data scientist again, here indicated as business intelligence analyst, management and organization analyst, sales and marketing professionals, because of the transferable skills into data analytics and so on. You have the data engineers again as database architects. Then you have HR analysts, you have the project managers. But the project managers here are not your typical project managers, not the conventional project managers, but the IT project managers. And these are your agile project managers. Okay. So we saw the World Economic Forum and it became clear to us that the analysis we had carried out from all the job boards aligned with the jobs in the World Economic Forum. And then we didn't stop there. We looked regionally into the UK. We looked at the eligible occupations for the skilled worker visa. So if I'm in the UK today and I want sponsorship, I want my employer to give me a COS so I can go ahead and apply for visa sponsorship. What role should I focus on? So we looked at the eligible occupations. In the US, we looked at the job titles with the highest H1-B acceptance rates. And in Canada, we looked at different provincial nominee programs across multiple provinces. But I'll just take a few, maybe 2 minutes to walk you through some of these websites. Again, you have all the links. You can come here yourself and check. All right. So let's look at Canada, for example. Okay. So let's check the Saskatchewan Tech Pathway, which is a pathway for accelerated provincial nomination. So if you click on that, it takes you to the Saskatchewan Tech Talent Pathway, and you want to look at the jobs. Okay. So you have non-express entry, express entry. We go to non-express entry, for example. Let's look at the occupations that would give you accelerated pathways. Data scientists, just like we saw in the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report, cybersecurity, business system specialists, these are your business analysts, information system specialists, database analysts, data administrators, these are your data analysts, and so on. Okay. The same thing if you go to the express entry, pretty much the same roles. Okay. You'd see your data scientist, cybersecurity, business systems analyst, your data analysts in the form of database and data administrators, and so on and so forth. If you check the Alberta Advantage Immigration Program, the same thing. The BC Tech Pilot, British Columbia Tech Pilot. If you click on that as well, you'd see the specific jobs that would give you accelerated pathway to provincial nominee programs. You have healthcare, construction, and under technology, you'd see the data scientists, cybersecurity, business system specialists. These are your business analysts, information system specialists, database analysts, database administrators. Okay, these are your data analysts, your data science roles, and so on and so forth. Now, if you look at the UK, the eligible occupations, click on that link and it takes you to the gov.uk website. All right. And this is the most recent, updated in July. You want to look for the jobs that are eligible. And where you have the categories, you'd either see higher skilled, ineligible, or medium skilled. Those are the three categorizations. And remember, you all agreed that if you were a CEO, you'd give sponsorship to those with higher skilled employees. Okay. So if you look at the eligible occupations, all right, I'm just going to skip because of time. Okay. 2131, you have your IT project managers, your agile project managers, higher skilled, IT managers, your IT business analysts. And when you look at the breakdown, you'd see your data architects, your data engineers, your IT business analysts, and so on and so forth, your cybersecurity professionals, higher skilled, and so on. Okay. And all the roles we all looked at when we carried out our analysis, we looked at the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs, and we looked at the different regions, 8 career paths are the areas you want to focus on if you want to transition, compete for the best jobs. All right. Number one on the list is the business analyst, not in the order of importance. Okay. So in no particular order. So the business analyst, the data analyst, the data scientist, the agile project manager, the data engineers, cybersecurity analyst, the HR analyst, and last but not the least, the financial analyst. These are the 8 career paths you want to focus on if you want to compete for the best jobs. So remember, question number one is where are the jobs and how do I identify the career path that are in high demand, which is what we've done. Okay. Now, these are the 8 areas. I want you to write it down somewhere and you want to focus on one of these 8. And that was what William did. Sharon and so many other people I'll be sharing their stories today. That was exactly what they did. But for so many of you, you would have the question, oh, Adeza, I'm not really sure. I'm confused. I don't know if I should do data analytics. I don't know if I should go for data science, data engineering. So I'm going to share a link in the chat. Okay. And my colleagues would share that link as well. This is an assessment that would help you identify easily the career path to choose. Okay. So it's an assessment where we would ask you questions around your past experience, your interests, and so on and so forth. We'll do it together. I'll show you how to get this done. Okay. So I'm going to post that in the chat. So I just dropped the link. My colleagues might share the link again. So click that link and I'm going to click the link right here and it will take me to this particular assessment. All right. So click the link. I want us to do this together. This is how you can easily identify the best career path that suits you as an individual, suits your past experience and your interest. Okay. So don't make decisions simply because your friend just got a job. You are making it from an informed point of view. Very important. Okay. So click that link. Once you do that, it's going to bring you up to this assessment. You click on get started. Very straightforward. Let's go. So you enter your name. I think I'll use a different browser for this. Just give me 1 second. Let me just use a different browser. Okay. So once you click the link, it brings you to the quiz. Get started. Click on Let's Go. Enter your first name. Enter your last name, Adeza. My first name, my last name, Suleiman. Mobile number, enter that. Start with your country code. Okay. So +1 780 716. Okay. So enter your phone number, your mobile. This is not my actual mobile number. Okay. So I modified some of the numbers. So you want to enter your own accurate number. All right. So that you can get your results and all of that. Enter your email. I'd enter my email. Okay. And then you click on next. Okay. You can tick this, for example, just tick that. I'd like to receive marketing communications and all of that. Tick that and click on next. Now, the first question, how do you feel in group settings or team discussions? Do you thrive? Do you love engaging teams? Are you selective or do you prefer to work behind the scenes? Okay, so it's a personality issue. For some people, they don't like to be at the forefront. They want to work behind their computers, and it's totally fine. There's a career path for you. Okay, so I prefer to work behind the scenes. You can select that. What best describes your current or most recent job? So you select what you do currently. Okay. So let's assume you're unemployed, a freelancer, you just want to switch careers. You can also select that. Okay. If you're in finance and accounting, you're a caregiver in the healthcare space, you are in IT support, you are in marketing, select one option. Okay. For me, I would select unemployed. Okay. Which of these sound most like you? Okay. So select the most relevant option to you. I would select, I prefer working with data finding patterns. I would say I love solving problems. Okay. I'll select that. How comfortable are you with Excel, Google Sheets, or numbers in general? All right. I would say select the one that is applicable to you. All right. So I'm just selecting randomly from my own end just to show you how the quiz and assessment works. I would say I use it only when necessary. What's your take on coding? All right. Do you love coding? Prefer puzzles or syntax? And I'll say I would rather manage tech teams, okay, not code. What kind of work environment do you prefer? Select your preferred option. For me, I would say I don't know yet. What's most important to you now? Okay, so what is most important? Landing a high-paying job ASAP. Next, what kind of impact do you want to make? I want to drive insights, build scalable systems, select that. And then what program are you interested in or what is most appealing to you? All right. And because you select a program does not mean you get that particular program. Okay. For me, I'm just going to select data analytics. If you are still confused, you can still write I'm confused. Select your preferred option and click on tap here. And then you get your results. Okay. So for me, my result is the data analyst. You are curious, observant, and like to get to the bottom of things. Okay. So you'd see all of this. All right. And the next line of action here is you can speak to a career coach. Oh, this is what I've gotten. I want to have a conversation with a career coach. Or you can step in to pay immediately. But we're not going to get there yet. We'll get there at the end of our session. If you click on speak to a career coach, for example, it brings you here and you can simply look at the particular program you've selected and so on and so forth. Okay. So I want you to take a screenshot of this. What program was recommended to you? Type it into the chat. So for me, mine is data analytics, the analyst data analytics. I'll copy that and I'll paste it in the chat. I want to know what you got. Okay, so type into the chat. Let me know what you got. I got data analytics. Nadine got business analysis. Fantastic. Okay, so let's keep it coming. Send more messages. Let's see. Charles, agile project management. Brilliant. Okay, but I love data analytics. Fantastic, Charles. So that's the beauty of having the opportunity to speak to a career coach because The most important thing I always say, more important than the recommendation you get here, is your own interest. What are you interested in doing? Because trust me, that it's going to get rough when you start the journey. When you're learning something, upskilling into an area that something new you've not done before, you're going to hit some stumbling blocks along the line. And when you hit those stumbling blocks, your initial zeal to commence the journey is what takes you to the end eventually, because you know why you're doing it. It's something you're interested in and you want to see it to its logical conclusion. Okay. Raymond, data analysis; Lawal, data science; Femi, business analysis; May, data analytics. Absolutely phenomenal. Bulu Atife says, I like data engineering. Fantastic. So that's the very first thing you want to solve. And remember, the beauty about this is you don't need prior experience. Okay. William did not have any experience in data analytics. Now he's working in a financial services company in Poland, helping them analyze their data and come up with strategies based on the analysis he's carried out. So that's the beauty about this. They are skill-based areas. So you learn the skills, you build experience, you showcase your experience, and you apply to jobs, get interviews, and land a job. How do you build experience? I'll help you answer that question. So we've done the very first thing, okay, which is identifying the high in-demand career path. Okay, now what next are we going to do? And I'll show you the framework that we deploy at Tenalytics, the same framework that helped William, the same framework that helped Sharon to land a job. Number one is learn. Okay, and when you learn, you focus. Now, what focus means here, I'm going to explain this extensively because a lot of people make the mistake. Say one of you selected, let me pick somebody's name, Salahu. Salahu selected business analysis. Okay, so Salahu wants to become a business analyst and she starts her journey. So this is a mountain. Salahu is about to commence climbing this mountain. Okay, Salau is here right at the bottom. Now, for so many people, they don't climb on a straight line. The fastest way to climb this mountain is to go straight, get to the top, and you become a business analyst for Salau. But a lot of people would do what? They've chosen business analysis. Their friend just got a job in project management. So they've started climbing, but they moved to project management. Oh, another person just got a job as a data analyst. They move again to data analytics. Oh, another person just got a job in cybersecurity. They move again to what? Cybersecurity. Who do you think would climb this mountain a lot faster? The person who goes on a straight line. Eliminate all the alternatives, okay? So focus is eliminating alternatives. There are so many amazing career paths: data science, data engineering, business analysis, cybersecurity, financial analytics, but I know what I want. So I'd eliminate all the alternatives and focus on one. That's the first thing you want to do. All right. So that's how you get to the end of your journey a lot faster and get a job a lot faster. Now, having said that, the next thing is how you learn. When I was transitioning 12 years ago, I made so many mistakes, the same mistakes that people still make today. And what's that mistake? Learning in 100% self-paced environment. You want to avoid this. You want to have a blended learning approach. 50% self-paced, okay, and 50% instructor-led, where you have an instructor like myself, an instructor who has done that job, showing you how to solve problems, working on real world case studies. So like so many people back in the day, I was all over the place. I was on YouTube, I was on Coursera, I was on Udemy, I was on edX, I was everywhere, and I was nowhere at the end of the day because I got frustrated. You send a message, you're trying to do something, and you really can't do it because you sent a message and it takes about 1 week to get a response, and you are stuck until you get that response. Okay. So, but when you have the opportunity every single week to jump into a class, to jump into a session with an instructor in a live session, you have your questions answered right on demand. Okay. And that's the beauty of instructor led. Okay. So if you are one of those people that focus only on YouTube, you'd take a whole lot longer to complete that journey compared to somebody who has the right type of support. So I made all those mistakes. Okay. So make sure and ensure you have a blended learning approach. Some parts will be self-paced, some parts will be live. And that's the way we operate at Analytics. And I'll walk you through that very quickly. So what does a typical class at Analytics look like? Okay. So for everybody who joins any program, you have a dashboard. Your dashboard is where you have access to your class materials, your content, and every single thing you want to learn at your own convenience, anytime, anywhere, any place. Okay. So you log into the platform. Welcome back, Adeza. You'd see the program that you registered for. Okay. You come to the dashboard. You can simply book an interview prep session. If you have an interview, come in here, click on schedule appointments, you fill all the details, and you book an interview prep. I'm going to talk about interview prep in a short bit. All right. Now, I'd go to the program I've registered for. So you'd see the program that you've paid for on your dashboard. So let's say business analysis like Salao. I'd go to business analysis, click on continue learning, and it takes me into my program. Okay. Now, this is where I can watch my videos. This is the self-paced portion of your learning. All right. So I want to learn about business analysis fundamentals and project initiation planning as a business analyst. I come in here, click on that introduction to business analysis, project initiation, and stakeholder analysis. I click on that and I can watch my video. I can practice along together with a professional. This is Vera. Vera is the lead business analyst at Deloitte. Okay, one of the big fours. So you're learning from professionals working in the biggest and the best organizations. They are doing the job. Vera also leads AI implementation at Deloitte as well. And she's also a senior business analyst. And this is the person you get to learn from. Okay. So you learn from professionals like this, like Vera. You come to your case study, you can work on different case studies at every anytime, every day, anytime you want to come in here, you can simply follow up with everything happening in the self-paced portion. Then you have a live class, right? Your live class is where you have the opportunity to interact with your trainer, your facilitator. And this is what we call the blended learning approach. Okay. So this is a live class, for example. You come into the classroom, you have access to your slides, and the live class is where you work on projects, real world projects. So this is a project on CRM implementation at an insurance company. So in this session, you work together with your trainer and your facilitator to solve this particular problem. So what's the introduction? What's the business all about? Secure Shore Insurance. You read about the company. What's the problem? They have suboptimal sales effectiveness. Okay. Underutilized customer data and so many things simply because they don't have a CRM. So as a business analyst, how do you come in to solve this problem? And that's the beauty of the live sessions. All right. So every live class is recorded. So you can come back. If you've missed the class, you can always come back and watch what happened in class today. Okay. So if you click on that, it takes you into the live class. You can watch this. This is the same, project I just showed you. This is your facilitator, Francis. Francis has over a decade experience working as a business analyst in the UK, currently works as a lead business analyst with a company in London in the UK. And this is the person that gets to teach you. You work together in class on this particular project. You get to interact You get to ask your question. Hey, Francis, I'm a bit confused. I'm not sure what you just did here. Okay. How do I actually do this in the real world? Okay. How do I do that? How do I solve this? What's this all about? You can ask your question in real time. And that's the beauty of your live classes. You'd see how to build your own templates. You'd see how to generate your own templates and so on. Okay. So this is the live session. And again, this is how you must learn: self-paced and live. And that's how you build your skills. All right. We're going to double down on your experience and I'll show you exactly what to do. Okay. But this is how you learn. Eliminate all alternatives, focus on one. And this is one of the framework. The second is packaging. Packaging is how you position yourself for success, how you showcase to the world, position and present yourself that you are the best candidates for that job. Can your CV get you into the room? Do you have an optimized LinkedIn profile? When we went to Patrick's profile, and I'm going to go there again very quickly. When we went to Patrick's profile, you saw something that says, I work as a data analyst with Tenalytics. All right. This is positioning and presenting yourself in a different way than so many other people would position themselves. A lot of people position themselves as beginners, as newbies. I'm just getting started, and so on and so forth. William positioned himself as somebody who is on the job. And that's why when you join us at Tenalytics, you are not a trainee. You are a contractor, you are a consultant working with us, solving problems, building your experience. Okay. So this did not happen by chance. It was specifically strategic to position William as the best candidate for that job. Okay. So one of the things you want to have is to have the right CV. So we help you review and revamp your CV to ensure it's keyword optimized, is ATS friendly, and so on and so forth. Okay. So you have the right CV. And then we show you how to tailor that CV to multiple jobs. Your LinkedIn optimization, having the right LinkedIn profile. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, show you how to build one. If you have one, show you how to optimize it. And then you must have a portfolio. I'll show you what a portfolio means. And I'll dare say that this is one of the most important things you'll be getting out of today's session, having your portfolio to showcase your experience. All right. Because remember, number one is identify the right career path. And we are looking at the framework. Once you've identified, I want to do data analytics. Now you know I have to learn self-paced and live. Okay. But how exactly do I build my skills? How exactly do I build my experience? I'll show you how to do that, how William did it, and so many other people did it, and they landed their jobs. Then you have your mentorship sessions. This is where myself, the co-founder, we bring in other industry experts from different regions to speak to you and hold you, and you have the opportunity to ask all the questions. We've gone through the fire. Some of us have gotten burnt, so you don't also get burnt. Okay, so all the mistakes we've made, you don't want to make those same mistakes. I'm going to play a video that will show you how important the mentorship session is to a lady. Her name is Esther. How Esther was able to land a job. So for so many people, especially the ladies, and this is not me, putting the ladies on the spot, but there's actually a research by Harvard Business Review that women would not apply to jobs unless they meet 100% of the requirements. I know I used to have that. I don't know if I can still. Let's just search HBR women don't apply to jobs. Let me see if it will come up. Okay. But if not, I know I have the link somewhere. All right. So that's it right there. Okay. So this is one of the major things we try to take away from your subconscious: imposter syndrome. Okay. Why women don't apply for jobs unless they meet 100, unless they are 100% qualified. It's a thing. And I keep on seeing it every single day. I had a conversation with a lady on Thursday. She has 18 years experience in banking. She's so good with the use of analytic tools, but she really just is not confident to apply. And I'm like, look, we had a conversation, we came up with a template, and now she started applying to jobs. So these are the things, and you'd hear from Esther herself. She wasn't applying to jobs, but she joined a mentorship session that I led. And after that session, she started applying. 2 months after, she got a job with the civil service in the UK. Okay, so that's the importance of the mentorship sessions. It opens your eyes to so many things you don't even know are playing within your subconscious and holding you back. Then you have your interview prep. So when you have an interview, what do? You should and you must have somebody to sit down with you, walk you through the job description, do a mock interview session with you, show you the questions that are likely going to come up, and then you go into that room knowing the right things to say. All right. And of course, when you eventually get an offer, how do you secure the job? By getting a reference. For anybody who's ever gotten a job, it doesn't matter the type of job, even if it's a warehouse job, they will definitely do a background check on you. Okay, they would ask for a reference. We have over 80 alumni working with the NHS. Every single time, the NHS would ask for reference. Show me where you've utilized these skills before. And that's where we come in. Okay, so from all these different sessions, if I just walk you through the classroom, for example, let's go to one of the classrooms. Okay, so you go to one of the classrooms, you'd see where to upload your CV. All right. You'll see where to, so these are the mentorship sessions, like I talked about. We have a session on interview simulation. So this is where in a group we take this was for the BA, the FA, that's the business analyst, the financial analyst, and the data scientist. So in the presence of about 200 people, would put you on the hotspot and we start asking you questions. So we create a dummy job, we give it to you, you apply to that job, you submit your CV, just like you would in the real world, and then we ask you questions. Okay, and based on your answers, we give you feedback, decoding the hiring, process, tech hiring process, navigating the job market, breaking into tier one companies as an immigrant, and all these mentorship sessions. If you miss any of them, you can always go back, watch the video again. Overcoming imposter syndrome that I just talked about is a key part of our mentorship session. Okay. So AI and the future of job applications, these are all different topics. And of course, you have where you upload your CV. So you send your CV to us, we work on the CV, revamp it, and then we send it back to you. And then we show you how to tailor your CV subsequently. Because when you apply to jobs, you don't take only one CV and apply to 100 jobs. No, you take one CV, tailor it and apply. The next application, tailor and apply. So we show you how to do the tailoring in about 2-3 minutes. So you increase the volume of your application, and not just volume, but the quality as well. All right. You can request for a reference right here, or you can simply go to your dashboard and you can request for a reference. Okay. Say you're applying for a master's, a PhD, you can request for a reference. And if you want to apply, you've applied to a job and they've asked you to provide reference, you can request for the reference details right here. We provide that to you. The organization would reach out to us. We validate your experience and you get that job. You solidify the job. If you have any challenge on the job, you have something called on-the-job support, where we work with you to ensure that you have a soft landing, solid footing, and solidify that particular job. And again, you have apply. So this is called the LPA framework. You learn, you've decided on the career path, you've packaged yourself, you are now employable, you know how to answer interview questions, you know how to answer competency-based questions. Tell me about yourself, introduce yourself. You know that when introducing yourself, you use the SEAT approach, where you talk about your skills, you talk about your experience, you talk about your achievements, And then you talk about your type of person or your traits. Who are you as an individual and how do you align to the company's core values? So these are the frameworks we show you how to use in preparing you for that interview. Then when you have jobs, you know where to apply now. You start applying to jobs. Okay. So you apply like a machine, but with precision. So you're not the person that just does easy apply. You do what? You know how to tailor your application. We show you how to tailor every application. You know the number of jobs you should be applying to per day. And then how to tap into the paid and the hidden job market. This is very, very important. A lot of people don't know that if you apply to only jobs on LinkedIn, you get the same type of results everybody else gets. If all you do is to apply on your common read.co.uk, CV Library, those are conventional platforms. Workopolis, um, Monster, Built In, and so on and so forth. Indeed, Glassdoor, these are conventional platforms. So you want to apply on platforms where everybody don't have access to, and these are the paid platforms. So we pay on those platforms and we scrape jobs, we vet those jobs and we send them to you for you to apply. Okay. So in a typical classroom, you would see something called job openings. We update it every week, every Sundays. You go in there, you click on it, and you have access. Okay. You have access to multiple jobs. Just give me 1 second. All right. So you have access to multiple jobs. Okay. So you can come in here, you see the jobs, you see the ones that come with sponsorship. Does it come with sponsorship? Yes, 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 yes. And these are the jobs that your counterparts don't have access to. All right. Your counterparts don't have access to these jobs. And these are multiple jobs. Every single week, we update these jobs for you. Okay. You scroll all the way down to 2025. Every Sunday, you have these jobs updated. All right. So you come in here, you see the jobs, the ones that come with sponsorship and the ones that don't. You still apply to those jobs across multiple regions, the UK, the US, Canada, and so on and so forth. And this is where you get access to jobs that your friends, your contemporaries don't have access to. So you get that interview a lot faster. And when you follow this framework, that's how you land the job. All right. I talked about an amazing lady. Her name is Esther. Esther was a care worker. She went to the UK for her master's, just like so many people. Okay. And she worked in care. She was a carer, but she didn't just want to do that. She wanted more. Okay. Today, Esther is a contract project officer with the UK Civil Service. How did she do that? Okay. Esther, she was a carer, had a background in pharmacy, but she wanted more. All right. She joined our Agile Project Management program in April this year. And within the space of just about 3 months, 3 to 4 months into her journey, Esther was able to land a job with the civil service as a contract project officer. Now, one thing you want to pick from Esther's story is like the Harvard Business Review research I showed you. Esther was not applying to jobs because she felt I'm not 100% qualified. Okay, I haven't completed my training. I'm still doing my training. I'm not going to apply yet. But one of the things we ensure that we do is to put it in you and instill that confidence that you don't have to complete the training. Esther would complete her training in December. She started in April. She'll complete it in December, but she's gotten a job already because we push you, we encourage you to go ahead and apply. We get those jobs that are not available everywhere. We send them to you, you apply. She'll complete her program in December, but she's landed a job already. And it was a mentorship session that triggered her. It triggered something in her to go ahead and apply. And I want you to listen to Esther. Esther did not use any. Have you heard me talk about certificates? Certificates are useless. I just saw that question pop up. Charles is asking. Certificates are useless. Okay. So, Charles, write this particular phrase. Okay. Competence over credentials. Remember this every day, every time. Competence over credentials. Employers don't care about your credentials. They don't care if you studied in Ghana, you studied in a village in Nigeria. What they want to see from you are two things. Do you have the skills to do the job? Do you have the experience to do it? Have you done it before? Okay, so we are getting to that, and I'm going to show you how to showcase your experience, what Esther did. But I want you to listen to Esther yourself, the mentorship session that pushed her to apply, and eventually she landed this job. Okay, so once again, you're going to listen to another amazing professional. Her name is Esther. It's a long video, so I'm just going to play the part that is relevant to you, okay, because of time. And then let me see. I think I'll just take it back a bit. It's 8 minutes. It would be lovely to hear Esther, the whole conversation, but this will be made available to you. Like I said, make sure you fill the attendance if you haven't. My colleagues would post from time to time. Fill the attendance and you have access to all these links. I'll just play about 2 minutes. You listen to Esther and the mentorship session that helped her, not a certificate. We are zero advocates for certificates. And that's simply because we know it doesn't work. There are too many people that have certificates. They have the PMP, they have the Scrum Master, they have the CBAP, they have this, they have that, but they still cannot get a job. So what's that thing that would enable you, position you as the best candidate in the front of a recruiter? Two things, skills and experience. Okay. And I'll show you how to gain the skills the right way, show you how to gain the experience, which so many people don't know how to do. Let's listen to Esther and let's enjoy Esther's story.
Project. Repeat purchase rates. No, that would be a KPI, not a success factor.
When did I secure the job and what role did analytics play? Now, there was one particular mentorship session that I attended that Daisy gave us like a rundown on how, he entered the data field. And after that session, after that mentorship session, I told myself, Esther, you know what? You're going to have to start applying. You're going to apply like your life depends on it, because it does. So I started applying. At first, I wasn't getting any interviews, but then there was also the LinkedIn optimization session. There was through the LinkedIn optimization session. But beyond this thing, I also did my own research. I started researching on how to, because I'm based in the UK, and personal statement is a big factor in recruitment processes here. So I knew that I have to invest in it. I utilized ChatGPT. I researched about what I was doing. I had to embody the case studies that we do in class as if they were my experience. I had to walk through them. It was studying. 2 months in, I secured an interview, and I remember sending an email to Sophia to say, I have an interview. And what they did, they prepared me like Elizabeth, because I did the agile project and Scrum Master Tech 1. And what they did was to prepare me for this interview. They asked me likely questions, they interrogated me, and at the end of that interview preparation session, I had more clarity on how to structure my answers, on how to answer confidently, on how to use the STAR method of answering interview questions. The first time I didn't get it. But then I knew that I couldn't give up, because I won't give up lose. So it was series. Each time there is an interview, I come back to them. And one thing about them is that they are never going to push you away, or they are never going to sanction you and tell you, oh, that we have prepared you this a maximum number of times, so you should know what to do. They are not like that. So each time you come, there is always somebody willing to guide you through the process. They are very thorough. That's another thing. They are going to ask you to send them the job description. They are going to ask you to send them the CV that you used. They want to know, and they are going to ask you these questions like the panels are going to ask you. And then at the end, they are going to send you the recording of this interview session and ask you, give you corrections, and ask you to also reach out to them if there is something that you are not understanding. So after tons and tons of interviews and applications, I eventually secured a contract management officer role with civil service. And this job is significant to the part I am on because there is a lot of stakeholder management. There is
Okay, so that's Esther's story. She went on and on and on, but we won't have enough time to listen to the entire 8 minutes. It's an 8 minute long video, okay? But you'll have the link to listen to Esther. And if you listen to how she started, she said she joined a session, a mentorship session that I took. A lot of people call my name Adeze, but my name is actually Adeza. But for some reason, Adeze is very common and people call me that. So she joined the session. I showed them and I told them how I also got started. And that was inspiring for her to also start. She started applying to jobs, multiple rejections, but eventually 2 months after, she got a job with the civil service, working right now. Got that job in July about 2 months ago, and she's doing amazing stuff. And the amazing part is she's not even done with her program. Okay, she talked about that in the video when you go back to watch. All right, you have somebody like Abednego wanted to get a job as a data analyst. Abednego had moved from Ghana. He moved to Germany. He came to Canada, struggled to land a job, used our LPA framework. He joined us in August 2024. He did all the right things, tailored his CV. We got him prepared for multiple interviews. He built a portfolio, applied, and he got a job in June this year, 2025. And he got a job as a quality improvement analyst with the city of Winnipeg. Okay. He made a post about it. All right. So if you click on this link, for example, it takes you to his LinkedIn post. And I'll just take you there as well. Okay. So let's go there. Abednego, click on the link. All the links are there for you when you get the slide. So Abednego made a post. That's Abednego. I am thrilled to share that I've joined the City of Winnipeg Fire and Paramedic Services as a quality improvement analyst. Abednego is in Canada, he's in Winnipeg, currently working as a quality improvement analyst. He started his role, he got the offer in June. I wrote his reference, completed his reference for him, and he spoke a lot more about this in an interview. Okay, so you might want to listen to Abednego right here. But this is somebody who had zero experience. He was trained to be a teacher. Back in Ghana, had never gotten a job. He came into Canada. Today, he's a quality improvement analyst after completing his program. And that's Abednego right there with me. So this year, we celebrated our 5th year anniversary in 2 major regions. We celebrated once in Calgary, another in Edmonton, in Alberta. And that's me right there. And that's Abednego right beside me. So he came to share his story to other people looking to transition and start their journey. And that's me right there. That's Efemena, the co-founder of Tenalytics. And that's Abednego right there. Amazing professional. You have Gad. Gad Onwachuku was a mechanical engineer, moved to the UK for his master's. He joined our program in July 2024 last year. Wanted to land a job, wanted to get sponsorship. He tailored his CV, did all the things I've explained to you today in terms of the right CV, the right LinkedIn profile. He applied, we prepped him for interviews. And in January this year, 2025, he got a job as a data warehouse and ETL developer with the NHS. Remember when I said we have over 80 alumni working with the NHS. God is one of them. Okay. He joined data engineering in July, and just after about 5 months, before he even wrapped up his internship, he got a job. Okay. Yes, we do issue certificates by the time you're done. And this is God's profile. Okay. God. I know his middle name is also Onwachuku, so his surname is always very difficult to pronounce. So one of the things you'd also see here is you both worked at Tenalytics, all right? And that's God, data warehouse and ETL developer with the NHS, started his job in January. Before that, he was a data engineer with Tenalytics on contract. Again, positioning. If you position yourself as a learner, nobody would look towards your corner. You want to be sure you're positioning yourself as somebody who can do the job, as somebody who is doing the job. And that's what attracts recruiters to you. And that's God and so many other people like that. Okay. So what do employers want from you? And this comes just after that gentleman said, oh, what certificates do I need to show employers? Employers don't need your certificates. Certificates is just a measure for how well you can retain information. Okay. So there are so many, the Scrum Master certification, for example, if Tenalytics teaches you the preparation in 3 weeks, you'd pass the exam, or less than 3 weeks. But the big question is, do employers want you for your certification? The answer is no. Okay. Employers want only two things from you: your skills and your experience. And this forms your competence. Your competence is your skills plus your experience. Do you have the skills to do the job? And do you have the experience to showcase that you've done it before? The skills for so many people, it's a lot. You can figure it out. The experience is the more difficult part for so many. So how do you learn the skills and how do you build the experience? The skills, the way you learn is the way I've explained to you earlier. Every single class, every single session is project based. If you're in business analysis, you're in data analytics, you'd work on what? Project. And in that class, you'd work with your facilitator, you'd work with your trainer, and you work on problems together. So if you go to any single live class, if I go to a class, for example, live class 10, and you go to the material, you'd find out that it is a case study for a particular company. Okay, so this is a project for a company called EcoGrow. It's an application. So you'd look at what the company is all about, the problem they are facing, what's your proposed solution, and you work on these projects together with your facilitator. And once you are done, you warehouse those projects into your portfolio. But then how do you build experience? If you can learn the skills in class, work on projects, build a portfolio, your experience can be built in 3 major ways. Number one, I've explained already. You work on projects from your class, you learn through a project-based learning approach. All those projects become part of your experience. Then you have 2 months internship. So for all the programs we offer, all the 8 programs, you have 2 months internship. So this is where you join an internship, you work in a cross-functional team, you work with other people, you learn cross-functional skills, interpersonal skills. And when you're asked the question, do you have UK work experience? God was able to say, yes, I have UK work experience. Why? Because I have interned with Tenalytics. I have learned with Tenalytics, registered both in the UK and also in Canada. And you do your internship with our sister company called Amdari. Amdari operates out of London in the UK and Alberta in Canada. So you have that experience to showcase to recruiters that you have the experience and they can count on you to deliver on the job. And again, you must show evidence that you have that experience. So how do you show evidence? You show evidence by working on projects, building a portfolio. And this is where I'll show you what a portfolio looks like. And I'm going to use this gentleman to explain, okay? Or maybe I'll use 2 other people to explain as well. So this is Victor. Victor is a data scientist. If you click on Victor's portfolio, click on the link, it's going to open up into his portfolio. You get to read about Victor, you know what he does, and you see some of the projects that he has completed. All right. If you go to one of the projects, loan default prediction, let's open this up. It shows you what Victor has done, building a loan prediction model. So what this does is it shows the company how to identify or predict customers that are likely going to default on their loan. So he built a machine learning model. You can read about it, the introduction, the problem statements, the aim of the project. You read about the methodology, but more importantly, you can see exactly what Victor did. If you click on this link, it takes you into his Python notebook. So if a recruiter wants to hire for a data scientist like Victor, they can see his notebook. How did he write his codes? Okay, how did he write his codes? What libraries did he use? Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, and so on. How did he carry out his data cleaning? How did he carry out his exploratory data analysis? They can see everything and they're convinced that Victor is the right person for the job. This is how you build evidence. Everybody that I've shown you today that got a job, that listed Tenalytics as part of their work experience, they all have a portfolio to showcase that I worked on problems. You can see the type of problems I worked on and the type of projects that I completed. This is Victoria. If you click on Victoria's portfolio, it takes you to what she's built. Victoria is a data analyst. You'd see Victoria's work with Deep Care Hospital ER visit analysis, where she helped this medical organization, this healthcare organization, optimize their emergency room. Okay, I can come in here, I can click to see exactly what she did. The dashboard she built using Tableau, the interactive dashboard that I can click on, I can see. If I decide to click on take away all the dates, it becomes blank. If I want to see for only Q3, click on Q3, I can see data for only Q3. It is interactive. And this is where employers, potential employers, can see the quality of your skills. Remember, we all agreed at the beginning, I would only give sponsorship to a candidate that is highly skilled. How do they know you're highly skilled? They can see the work you've done. So any recruiter that wants to hire for a candidate that can use Tableau, they're confident that Victoria can use Tableau. This is how you build and showcase your experience. You learn in class, work on projects, you put it in your portfolio. Now, you saw the project I showed you on Victor. All right, Victor's loan default prediction. This particular project where you can see his Python notebook. Let me show you where he was able to do this. He did it in class. Okay, I'll show you the classroom. Let me show you the classroom where Victor was able to do this. So Victor was in this class, machine learning class. If you go to the class material, okay, again, you see the case study. So you don't learn with us by watching videos or just, knowing how to use these tools. You use them to solve real problems. And that's why you can add them to your portfolio. So this is the case study Victor completed. Loanalytics Incorporated, loan defaults prediction. All right. So this is the case study. This was a live class, and this is the recording of the class. So you'd see where Victor, other students in that class together with the facilitator were solving this problem. Okay. So that's Okwayemi who walked them through how to solve that problem. If we go to the very beginning, you'd see this is the case study they're completing, right? From how they dropped irrelevant colons, cleaning the data, optimizing the data. This is somebody asking a question, Kushimo asking a question in class, and you work on these projects together. You know the rationale, you know how to solve, you ask all the questions. And at the end of the day, what do? Just like Victor, you add that into your portfolio. And this becomes part of your work experience. Very, very important. And that was what these two gentlemen did. Mawutin had a bachelor's in chemistry, experience in operations management. He joined our data analytics program. But Mawutin did not get a job in operations management. He got a job as a pathology data analyst in healthcare with the NHS on full visa sponsorship. The only reason why Mawutin was able to get this job in healthcare was simply not because of a certificate. He had zero certification. He was able to get the job because he worked on healthcare related projects in class. Okay, I'll show you the project, some of the projects that Mawutin completed. Same with Pavel. Pavel moved from Cameroon, was a teacher in Cameroon, moved from Cameroon to the US. He joined our data analytics program. And Pavel also got a job as a healthcare data and reporting analyst. How does a teacher become a healthcare data and reporting analyst? How does an operations manager become a pathology data analyst? This is where project-based learning becomes very important. I'll show you the classrooms of these two gentlemen, and you get to see the reason why they were able to get these jobs. So in their very first Excel class, you look at the project they completed. It was a case study for a medical organization, St. Luke's Hospital. The hospital had operational inefficiencies. The hospital had issues with, they had lack of visibility to patient trends. So you had a situation where the ER was always, it was always difficult to get an appointment with any of the physicians, any of the doctors, because of so many operational inefficiencies. As a data analyst, you use Excel to solve this problem. Okay, so this is just showing you examples. And again, this is a live class. So you solve the problem together, not on your own, but you have the opportunity to work with a facilitator who would walk you through how to solve the problem. So you solve it together, you make your mistakes, you ask your questions, and this is a live class happening. All right. So when you ask the question, oh, Adeza, how do I get a job? Do I need a certificate? No, you don't. This is how you do it. Competence, skills, and experience. Your experience, you warehouse them in a portfolio, and you can show that to anybody, and they know how good you are even before they get to interview you. Okay. So a typical program at Analytics is for 8 months. This is not your become a project manager in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's an extensive learning, immersive program for 6 months. And then you have your 2 months internship with Amdari. So it's an 8-month learning journey. But again, the beauty is you don't wait for 8 months before you start applying to jobs. All the people you've seen so far, Esther would be completing her program in December, but she's gotten a job already with the civil service. Sharon, who was a healthcare assistant, got a job a lot earlier. 3 months into the program, she had gotten an offer. And that's because, number one, a whole lot of organizations would hire you for the skills that you have. Most of them don't need you to have and know everything, okay? And number two, a lot of people, because of imposter syndrome, they don't apply to jobs when they're meant to apply. They want to meet all the requirements before they go ahead to apply. When you're applying to a job that you meet all the requirements, there is no room for growth. Okay, the job is most likely beneath you. All right. So every job requirement, job description you see out there is a wish list from HR. All right. So the jobs you apply to, you give yourself a 50% chance to get into the room and show them why they should take you. And every job you don't apply to, you have a 0% chance of ever landing that job. All right. So we encourage you, after 3 to 4 months, we encourage you to start putting in your applications. Okay. And a typical class at Analytics, your live sessions happen on Saturdays. If you're in the UK, Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you're in the US, Canada, North America, you have a class tailored to your region, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So for those in the UK, you have the flexibility on Saturday. If you're not available at 11 o'clock in the morning, you can join the class for those in the US, Canada at 6 p.m. your time. Okay, so you have that flexibility. Your live classes are on Saturdays. Every other day, you join your sessions on the LMS, you watch your videos, you practice at your own convenience, and so on and so forth. And you get lifetime access to the LMS, to your classroom. So even when you're on the job, and a lot of people say this, they're on the job and there is something you've done in class, you've forgotten. Okay, you go back, you log in, you watch that class again, you see how it was done, and that's how you remember. So you use your classroom as a reference, and it's always there for you whenever you need to use it. Your mentorship sessions are usually on Thursdays, where myself, the co-founder, other experts, we come on board to literally hold your hands. Thursdays in the evenings, if you're in the UK, for example, happens around 9 to 10 p.m. If you're in the US, you have a mentorship session tailored to your own time zone. So you're not joining classes or joining mentorship at odd hours because you're in a different region. So you have that flexibility. Okay. So there's so many other success stories. We don't have time to play all the videos. Again, the links will be there for you. So click on those links. You have the opportunity to listen to these amazing professionals. I would have loved to play Ramat's video because she said something very profound about the case studies and the practicals. Okay, because these are the things employers want from you. Can you do the job? You'll be given an assessment to test your technical competence. If you want to get a job as a data analyst, you'll be given data to analyze. As a business analyst, you'll be given a case study to make a presentation on, and so on and so forth. Okay, so Ramat spoke about that. If we have time, I'll come back to play Ramat's video. All right, but all the links are there. Ramat was a customer service professional. Ramat currently works with the NHS as well as a business architect. She worked in customer service. She wanted to get sponsorship in the UK. She joined our business analysis program. Today, she's one of the over 80 alumni working with the NHS. She's also on visa sponsorship. So what we do is for people like Ramat, we bring them back, okay? And they come to mentor other people who are also trying to get jobs with the NHS, get visa sponsorship, and so on and so forth. You've heard Sharon's story already. You've heard about Pavel's story. So we're going to move to the last and the final aspect of our session, which is how to position yourself for success and how and where to apply. Okay, so we show you how to tailor your applications. You never use a CV when applying. You know the number of jobs to apply to per day because on the average, it takes 267 applications to get one offer. So you know that you have your work already cut out for you. And you know that I have to put in the work every day, every month, every week. You know the number of jobs to apply to. So these are the things we open your eyes. We show you where to apply. You have the job board where you go there, you see the jobs. Okay. And this cuts across all the programs. The one I showed you earlier was for the business analyst. If you go to the data analyst as well, you'd see where you have your job boards, okay, job sites and roles you can apply to. And you'd also get to see job offers. If you go to your job offers, you click on that, you'd see where the different types of jobs every single week that you can apply to. The ones that come with sponsorship, the ones that don't, the data analyst, the project analyst, the analyst, the fraud analyst. This role, for example, with Nicola Health comes with sponsorship. This is an NHS job. You don't find these jobs just anywhere. Okay. We get them from the paid job boards. We send them to you and you apply. All right. So we show you how to get into tap into the hidden and the paid job market. And finally, your references. If you get that offer, if you don't have a strong reference, you will lose that job. If you are a civil engineer like William, and you're telling a company that you have the experience of a data analyst, they will ask you to provide a referee from that particular organization who would give you a reference and vouch for the skills that you have. Okay, so we've got your back when it comes to reference checks, and I'll show you a sample of what that looks like. This is Ene. Ene completed our program in December, and Ene was able to land a job as a data scientist in April this year. Okay, she joined our full stack data science program. She completed her program, completed her internship, and in April this year, she landed a job. Before she could keep the job, the company reached out to me. This is a screenshot, sent it in April. Hi, Adeza Suleiman, please provide reference for Ene. I clicked on this link, filled all the details, filled all the form, and eventually they sent me another message. Hi, Adeza. Ene says, thank you for providing an everlasting reference. Okay, so this is what your reference looks like typically. Okay, and I'm just going to show you Ene's profile because Ene is an amazing, fantastic professional. Ene Ojaide. Again, what you get to see when you go to Ene's profile is what? You both worked at Tenalytics and Amdari. So Ene learned at Tenalytics and she interned with Amdari. Okay, so data scientist with Analytics, data scientist with Amdari. She currently works with DSA. DSA is in Germany. So she works remotely. She's in the UK, but she works remotely for this company in Germany. Okay, I also talked about Ramat, who was a customer service professional, but today she's a business architect with the NHS. Again, you both worked at Tenalytics. You go to Ramat's profile. She was a customer resolution agent with British Gas customer service. She joined us as a business analyst. You'd see that they're business analyst consultants. And today she's a business architect with one of the NHS trusts. If I have the time, I'll still play Ramat's video for you before we leave here today. All right. So remember, focus, eliminate all alternatives, pick one course, and you realize that it's not just about learning the skill. You need to also be employable, employability skills. Your CV, your LinkedIn, you must have a portfolio. You've seen what the portfolio looks like. The mentorship sessions, you heard from Esther. She couldn't apply. She didn't want to apply because she had imposter syndrome. But she joined a session with me. She started applying to jobs. We prepped her for our interviews. If you had listened to Esther carefully, she talked about Sophia, who is a class coordinator, and Elizabeth, who is our lead agile project manager, who prepared her for that interview, and she got a job with the civil service. Once you've packaged and presented yourself as the best candidate, you must know where to apply and how to apply. And that's how you secure the job. All right. So I'm going to walk you through the skills in the next 2 minutes because people always ask this question. If I want to get a job as a business analyst, what particular skills must I learn? And the reason why I like showing this is because so many people get the skills wrong. I've interacted with so many business analysts and they tell me that, oh, Adeza, I don't think I need Excel. I've argued with somebody, rather the person was arguing with me that as a business analyst, I don't need Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Okay. Now, here is the irony. She got a job, and the reason why she got that job was because she could use Power BI and SQL. Because the modern business, and she came back to say, Adeza, thank you for convincing me that my skills were not enough as a business analyst. Because the Power BI and Excel was what Power BI and SQL was what gave me this job. Okay. So as a business analyst, you must start with your data skills and then you build other skills in process mapping, project initiation planning, Agile and Scrum for projects, the software development lifecycle, requirement fundamentals, elicitation, stakeholder analysis and engagement, ChatGPT for business analysis. You'd learn how to use tools and technologies like Lucidchart, Draw.io, for your process mapping, Confluence to collaborate on projects. You'd learn Jira to track your project deliverables, and so on and so forth. Azure DevOps, Trello, ChatGPT. And for the Agile Project Manager, you will learn the key learning areas for you: introduction to project management, the project management skills and communication, foundation for Agile and Scrum. Agile has multiple frameworks. And that's why an Agile project manager can also get a job as a Scrum Master, because Scrum is one of the frameworks under Agile. Okay, you understand the Scrum framework, the advanced Scrum, Agile practices, end-to-end use of Jira and Confluence, the Kanban boards for workflow management, Nexus Scaled Scrum, and we help you prepare for the Scrum Master examination. You'd learn Confluence, Jira, Trello to ensure you can track deliverables, collaborate on projects, track your team members' tasks and responsibilities. Okay, remember your live classes are on Saturdays. Every other day you're on the LMS. All right. Now, for the data engineer, you will get to learn different tools and technologies. Introduction to data engineering, SQL, Python programming, Python for your building your ETL pipelines, Linux for bash scripting. You learn how to build ETL pipelines, get data from databases, APIs, script data from the web, Apache Spark, Apache Airflow for your data scheduling, data orchestration, and data pipeline automation. Gad, who works with the NHS as an ETL developer, completed the data engineering program. You'd learn cloud technologies, the GCP, Google Cloud Platform, Microsoft Azure, GitHub Copilot, and version control with GitHub. The data engineers earn the big bucks. I tell you for free. In the UK, on the average, the data engineer earns about £65,000. In the US and Canada, 6 figures as well. Same with the data scientists. Again, the mistake people make here is they think to be a data scientist is only to know how to use Python, but that's a big mistake. You have to start from the foundation. When you're building a house, if you're learning data science and you start with Python, it's like building a house, but starting from the roof. You must start from the foundation, and that's where you learn statistics. Okay, you move into predictive analytics with Excel, Tableau for data analytics, SQL, Python, before you move to Python for your exploratory data analysis, machine learning, computer vision, GitHub for version control, GitHub and Copilot for your AI in data science, and Microsoft Fabric. Again, the data scientists earn 6 figures in the US, in the UK, an average of about £55,000. In Canada, about 94,000 Canadian dollars. The data analyst, you start from problem solving, Microsoft Excel, SQL, Power BI, Tableau for your business intelligence, data visualization, data storytelling, ChatGPT for analytics, and Microsoft Fabric. Amazing salary as well in the UK. The median salary in the UK is about £45,000. Canada, over 71,000 Canadian dollars. In the US, about 86,000 US dollars. All right. And of course, the financial analyst and the HR analyst are both data analysts. The only difference is the financial analyst focuses on financial data or financial records. That's using data analytic tools to analyze, extract insights from financial data, essentially. That's the financial analyst. The HR analyst focuses on what? HR or people data. So they are both data analysts, and that's why you'd see the financial analyst learns the data skills first. Problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Then you move into accounting fundamentals, financial analysis, financial modeling, valuation, sensitivity and scenario analysis, ChatGPT 4, financial analytics. And the HR analyst would also learn the data skills, problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Then move to HR analytics, performance evaluation, HR metrics and life cycle, analysis and dashboarding, collaboration, report automation, creating your case and building action, ChatGPT for financial analytics. And last but not the least is cybersecurity. And the cybersecurity program gives you specializations in 3 major areas. Okay. Number 1, it gives you specialization as a GRC professional, governance, risk, and compliance. Number 2, ethical hacking or penetration testing. And number 3 is security operations center professional or security operations center analyst, the SOC analyst. Your specializations are done during your internship. So you're going to learn different tools and technologies from Nmap to Wireshark, Kali Linux, Metasploit, Splunk, and so on and so forth. You'd learn the different areas from compliance and audit, policy development. You'd learn governance and compliance frameworks. You'd learn what the overview of the different roles and technologies of cybersecurity. You'd also learn networking as a core area of cybersecurity, introduction to network security, threats and vulnerabilities. You'd learn network reconnaissance, vulnerability scanning, exploitation techniques, incident response, and threat intelligence, and so many other areas around the cybersecurity ecosystem. The cybersecurity analyst earns amazing salaries, 6 figures in both the US and in Canada. And in Canada, significantly higher simply because of the demand and the shortage of cybersecurity professionals in Canada. In the UK, about £57,000 and so on. Okay. Now, there's so many other success stories. I'm not going to bore you with them. How do you get started is the question. Bukola moved from Nigeria to the US. She had HR experience back in Nigeria. She joined our business analysis program. We helped her combine her HR and business analysis. She got a job as a HR business analyst with a company in the US. We had a full interview with her. You can listen to Bukola here. Ikmat was a stay-at-home mom. She's currently on full visa sponsorship with the NHS in the UK as an information analyst after completing our data analytics program. Chukwuebuka got a job as a security operations center analyst. He joined our cybersecurity program. He's in Ireland and he got a job in July this year. He joined us in September 2024 and July he got a job. Again, he talked about his experience and so on. And you have Nonso. Nonso's story is very interesting and very long. So I won't have enough time to talk about Nonso's story, but I'll summarize it. Nonso joined us in March. And by May this year, he got a job. What makes Nonso's story exciting is he was in mental health. He worked in a mental health organization. There was no department for data analytics. But based on the things he learned in class, he came to me and told me that I think I can implement something around what I can use Power BI and Excel to do in my organization. And I told him, he got advice from me, create a presentation and show them what you can do. And he did that. There was no role. The role he's currently occupying today as a data analyst and compliance lead did not exist in the company. It was created because Nonso had the skills and he pitched his idea to his line manager. They created that unit. And today, Nonso was able to move away from just what he was doing to a data analyst and compliance lead. And guess what? Nonso has zero background in anything related to tech. And that's the power of learning in a project-based environment, the way I've explained so far, and having evidence and having somebody as a mentor that can advise you on what to do. And this is Christian. Christian joined us when he was 17. His elder brother joined a session like this, but his elder brother already has his career figured out. He was too old, in his own opinion, to transition. He was happy where he was, but he got his younger brother last year, September, to join our data analytics program. And this year, at the age of 18, Christian landed a job in July 2025 as a data processor and analyst with Market Trends International. He created a post. He sent a post about, he made a post about that on LinkedIn. So when you get the slide, make sure you click on that, read about Christian's story. Very interesting. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay. Read about Christian's story. He made a post about it. Very inspiring. But those of you who have younger ones, you have a younger sister, a younger brother, you have a friend, you have a colleague who you know is intelligent and would like to do something like this. So this is Christian, against all odds, landing a tech role at 18. Okay. In September 2024, I was only 17 at that time. My senior brother, who had encouraged me to aim high, saw the potential in me and paid for a data analytics training at Tenalytics. Long story short, Christian landed a job this year at the age of 18. Okay. So if an 18-year-old can do it, then definitely you can also do it. Judith moved from a carer to a business analyst within the space of about 3, 4, 5 months. This is Mary. Mary got her sponsorship. Mary was in healthcare as well. She was a carer. She didn't want to do that again. She didn't want to do care. She came to us, joined our business analysis program in November. And by March this year, she got this. This is our approval for her skilled worker visa. Okay, so you'd see that here. You have been granted to stay in the UK as a skilled worker until 13th March 2030. 5-year route to ILR as things remain the same. Okay, so Amaka was out of work for 6 months in Canada, joined our HR analytics program. She got a job as a HR data analyst with Sask Energy in Saskatchewan. How do I get started? That's the big question. All right. And if you've made it up until this point, it shows one thing, and that is you are ready to make a difference in your career. No doubt about that. A lot of people would have to go do research to get all the information you've gotten today. But before we even know what it takes to get started, if you've gotten value for your time so far, just type in a yes into the chat. If you've gotten value for the time you've spent, type in a yes. Simeon says yes. Nadine, yes. Kosha, yes. Ben, yes. Moses, Raymond, Tijani. Fantastic. The next cohort starts on the 8th of November, 2025. For those of you that want to get your journey started, the 8th of November, 2025. And we still have our discount running, early bird discount. And what's the early bird discount? So for all the programs I listed, from business analysis to data analytics to full stack data science, the full amount is $1,000. But we have an early bird discount where rather than paying 1,000, you get to pay just 750 US dollars. And another amazing way to lock in the discounts is you don't get to pay the money at once. You can make payments in multiple installments, 5 installments. So what it takes for you to start on the 8th of November is just $150. That's what gets you into class. And then you structure the rest of your payments for the next 5 months. Okay. So you get started. The next payment comes in the next month. The next comes in the next month. And you can also, once you've paid, today is what? 11th of October. Maybe your salary comes in on the 30th or 25th or 26th. In your LMS, you can structure your payments to start the subsequent payment to come in the same time you receive your salary. So you can always do that at your own convenience. Okay. And I'm going to show you how to register, how to create a profile on the LMS, and how to go ahead to make payments. But remember, the discounts that we have is not for everybody. It's limited. It's for the first 20 people to register. The 25% discount is for the first 20 people to register, taking advantage of the discount to start on the 8th of November. I was almost saying October. Okay. Now, In addition, another bonus I have for you, especially from those from this session, if you're from this session and you're making payments within the next 24 hours, you would get an exclusive invite into a session where I'll show you how to get the technician endorsement and also apply for the global talent visa. It's an exclusive session and it's only open to 20 people. All right. So just the first 20 people to register get access to that session. It's exclusive. It's a session where I'll be showing you there are so many pathways in the UK for a lot of people. Of course, the technician endorsement, getting the global talent, it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in Nigeria, you could be in Ghana, you could be in the US, you could be in Canada. If you want to live and work in the UK with no restrictions, you don't need you don't need an offer from any employer. You get endorsed based on your skills, based on your experience and your contribution to the tech ecosystem. And I'll be showing you exactly how to position yourself, how we've helped our participants, people that have joined Analytics, with helping them write their recommendations, their references, and so on and so forth. So if you want to be a part of this, this is an added advantage, an added discount for you. And remember, it is only for the first 20 people to register. Okay, so take advantage of all the discounts we have available, and I'll be showing you how to register, how to go ahead. All right, so all you need to do is you click on this link and it takes you to where you go ahead to make payment. We're going to do a very quick Q&A before we leave here. All right, so I'm just going to show you how to go ahead and make payments, and then you'd get to take questions. I'll take your questions and give you answers, and we are home and dry. Okay, so let's show you how to go ahead and make payments. So all you need to do is, I'll use a different browser for this. If you click on that link, the payment link, it brings you to where you'd see the different courses. Okay, so you can select the course you're interested in: data analytics, business analysis, financial analytics, HR, anyone you're interested in. Okay, you go ahead and select. So let's say I'm interested in going for data analytics. I click on buy now. Okay, and I can read about the program. I can see the course description, the curriculum, the course instructors, job opportunities, and all of that. Okay, come in here and click on enroll now. Enter your name. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. So you create a profile and then you make payments. You have access to your dashboard. Create a profile. I'll enter my email. So I'm just going to pick an email from here. Just give me 1 second and I'll show you exactly how to get that done. All right, so you enter your name, you enter your email, you enter your phone number, you make sure you read the terms and conditions and select, I have read the terms and conditions. So I'm going to enter an email right here. Enter a phone number, select a country. Okay. Select Canada. I have read the terms and conditions, create accounts. So this creates your account for you. You'll get an email with a code, 4-digit code. It brings you here. You'd see the 25% discount applied. So always remember, you're going to get the 25% as long as you're the first 20, one of the first 20, and also we are making payments within this period, this window. Okay, I'm paying for data analytics. You can start in November or you can start in December. So you have that luxury of making payments now and deferring to start a lot later into the future. Now, depending on your location, you'd see the currency will be displayed based on your location. So if you're in the US, you'd see US dollars. If you're in the UK, you'd see, British pounds. So Here, I can make full payments, 2 monthly payments, 3 monthly payments, or 4 monthly payments, or even 5 monthly payments. Remember, if I'm making 5 monthly payments and I'm paying in pounds, you'd be seeing £123 per month. And for the 5 monthly payments, you'll be making a discounted amount of £615. If I'm making payments in US dollars, I would see it 750 US dollars, which is $150 per month for 5 months, and I'll pay $750. All right. If I'm paying in Canadian dollars, which is what is displayed here, I would make a payment of 220 Canadian dollars every month for 5 months. If you are somewhere in Europe, in Poland, in Germany, in Austria, you will see euros and you'd see the breakdown, how much you get to pay monthly for 5 months. All right. So it's done automatically for you based on your region and your location. If you make a one-time payment or 2 monthly payments, you get a slight additional discount. Okay. So here, the 5 monthly payments, I'm paying 1,102 Canadian. But if I make one-time payments, I get about $50 discount additional, just to, highlight that. So let's say I want to make payments in 5 installments, apply discount. So it's going to apply my discount for me, and I'll confirm all the details. If you have anything you want to change, you can edit and all of that. And you get to see the amount. Okay. $150 USD, 150 USD, 150 USD. I'm going to make this payment for 5 installments. The first one comes in today, October 11, November 11, but you can always change the dates in your LMS after making the first payment. All right. So I'd come in here, confirm my information is correct. I've read the terms and conditions, pay now. Okay. So it takes me to the payment page. And this is where I get to enter my details. So I'd enter my details. Okay, I'll enter this. These are not actual. This is just to show you how to make payments. So they're not actual credit card or debit card details. Okay, so you enter the card holder's name, your postal code, right? You don't need to save information. Enter that and just simply click on what? Pay. So once you click on pay, you see that your payment is complete. Then for you to access the dashboard, you go to dashboard. Okay, go to dashboard. You'll be required to complete all the other details. But first of all, you enter your verification code. This code would be in your email, the email you provided. So make sure you go to your verification code, go to your email, pick up the verification code and paste. Okay, so I'll do that for mine and I'll show you right away. Okay, verify email. So my code is 361 361 Verify email. So once you've verified your email, you complete all the other details very quickly. Select your country. Where are you joining from? From the United Kingdom, from Canada, Nigeria. Select that. Gender, male. What's your preferred time? Again, remember, based on your region, you can always select your preferred time. So I'll choose morning. I'm in the UK. I want to join the class for those in the UK. How did you find out about Tenalytics? You select the option. All right. Did you find us on the website, on Google? Were you in a session by Adeza, Efemena, Nez? How did you hear about us? Did you hear about us from Nanel? Did you hear about us from Olu of Canada? I did a session with Olu of Canada yesterday, for example, on Instagram. So if that's where you heard about us from, select it. Do you have an alternative email just in case we need to reach out to you, or create a new session, a masterclass for you? Select that. Referral code, you don't need this because you already have your discount applied. How much time would you commit? 1 to 3 hours per week, 4 to 6 hours per week. The ideal is 7 hours per week, at least 1 hour per day. Okay, so I'll select 7 to 10, and then I click on complete. And once I've completed, it brings me to my dashboard. This is the LMS where I can watch my videos. I see the program I've paid for. I go to continue learning, and I'm able to learn. Right at the left-hand side, you can see your billing history. So you get to see the amount you've paid and so on. Your upcoming bill. My upcoming bill would be November 11, okay? And so on and so forth. For some people, for some time, maybe the next payment is not going to come in as early as you anticipated. You can request for a grace period, or you can even pay ahead of time. Okay, so this is how you get access to the dashboard and how you get to register. Very seamless. Now, another question I'll just answer because I know the question usually comes up. What if I have started data analytics, but then I decide I want to do business analysis? You can do that. So you could have registered for data analytics, but along the line, 2 weeks in, you have a 2 weeks window or a 2 week window to change or make up your mind. So the first week, the second week, I decide I want to do business analysis. You can always come here. You see where you have switch, defer. You can switch your course. You select the new course you want. Now I want business analysis, and I want to keep the current cohort, but I want to move, or I want to join the December business analysis. Your reasons for leaving or for switching, you select the issues, select that, and click on proceed. Okay, so you have a flexible platform that is there for you. You can schedule interview prep, do all those amazing stuff, and that's how you become a part of the Tenalytics ecosystem. So I'm going to take a breather. We're going to take questions and answers before we wrap up our session today. So if you have a question, please drop it in the chat. I can see a question from Richard. What will be the mode of teaching? I've answered that question during the session already. You have your live classes, Richard, just like similar to this session, for example. The only difference is you'll be in a session where you're working on projects, you are solving a problem together. So you can ask questions, you can share your screen, show what you're doing, and you have that one-on-one interaction with your facilitator. And every other day, Richard, you are on your platform. Okay, if I click on continue learning, for example, it's going to take me to my classroom and I can start watching my videos. Okay, I can start watching my videos, my introduction and all of that. So you'd see that most of the courses now are locked. They will get unlocked when you're about a week to commencing your program. Okay, so you have it unlocked and you can start watching the videos and preparing ahead of time. So here on the LMS, you can watch these videos anytime, anywhere at your convenience. Okay, and then you have your live classes. Legal analytics. There are so many job titles. Richard, I think that's Richard who asked the question. Is there anything like legal analytics? We've had lawyers who have joined our programs, lawyers, and they became business analysts, implementing and utilizing their skills in their law practice. We've had lawyers who came in and they got jobs as data analysts because they were finding it difficult to land jobs within the legal space in the UK, in Canada as well. You never mentioned healthcare analytics. I showed you somebody who got a job as a healthcare data reporting analyst. All right, let me show you again. I mentioned Pavel. Okay, Pavel. So let's go back to my slide very quickly. Pavel, so for you to get a job in healthcare analytics, it simply means that you will do either data analytics or data science. Okay, but let me show you these two gentlemen I showed you earlier, Pavel and Mawutin. Mawutin is a pathology data analyst with the NHS. Pavel is a healthcare data and reporting analyst. All right, so let's go to their LinkedIn very quickly. Since you asked the question, let's go to LinkedIn. So if I go to Mawutin, Sunday, Mawutin moved from Nigeria, moved to the UK for his master's. had a background in operations management. He was a support worker. Today, he's a data analyst with the Southeast Hospital NHS Foundation Trust. Okay. And if you look at his job role as a data analyst, his actual job role in his reference that came to me that I filled was pathology data analyst. Okay. And you'd see where on his CV, data analytics consultant with Tenalytics. All right. Also for Pavel is in the US, Tucson, Arizona. Pavel joined us sometime around September last year. He got a job in March this year with the Arizona Community Physicians as a healthcare data and reporting analyst. So there are different roles you'd find. There is no one particular role that applies to everyone. It could be healthcare analytics, it could be healthcare data and reporting analyst, it could be digital health analyst, pathology data analyst, and so many other roles like that. All right. I hope that answers your question. I want to come to the UK for my master's. This question is from Pastor Gideon. I want to come to the UK for my master's. Which program should I pursue? I believe that's what you're trying to write. I am looking at data science. These are good areas, okay? Data science, project management. But then again, you always ask yourself the question, what job do I want to get? The university does not prepare you for the job market. I'll tell you for free. I studied in the UK as well. I studied at the University of Bradford. And I'll tell you for certain, the same thing so many other people face. The university system is highly academic. You'd work on thesis, you'd work on group work, group projects, and that's pretty much it. You don't learn the skills that employers want you to use to solve real world problems. And that's just the reality. Okay. So what you want to do is ask yourself, what type of job do I want to get? And that's what you want to go all in. You want to go in and ensure you are all in. Onikpede says, Adeza, I would like to hold another meeting like this before this session. We have these sessions almost every Saturdays. I'm here today. Next week, you're likely going to see Efemena, the co-founder of Tenalytics, here on Saturday next week. But then the discount is not always available. So if the first 20 people register, you will be making a slightly higher payment, Samson, just to mention that. But then again, you can also register, book a clarity session if you have questions. So you can speak with our career coaches, book a session. If you've completed the assessment I showed you earlier, one of the things you would also get to find is you would see where you have book a career session. You can book a session with us. We answer all the questions you have, and you get clarity on exactly what to do. Can I register and start in December? Absolutely. I showed you. When you're registering, you'd see November, you'd see December. You can start in December. Okay. Do I have to learn all these before registering, or you don't need to come with anything. Data engineering, you don't need prior experience. You don't need prior knowledge. The curriculum is designed with the beginner in mind. We know that you don't know anything in this area. I've been there before. I studied industrial chemistry. I had no background in data analytics. My first job was as a management consultant, no background in data analytics, but then I transitioned, just like all these other amazing professionals have transitioned. Okay. So we expect you to know how to operate the computer. You can open up a computer, you can browse the internet, open files, close files. And that's pretty much what we want you to know how to do. Every other thing, from how you create your pipelines as a data engineer, the tools and technologies, we teach that to you for 6 months. Okay. For full 6 months. And then 2 months extra, you have your internship. So you would learn that for 8 months. So this is not what you see all over the place, or become a business analyst in 3 weeks, in 4 weeks. which is impossible for you to do that. Okay. So here it's an extensive immersive program that builds the skills, build your experience, build your employability skills, and you eventually would land that job. Okay. So remember, the first 20 people also get access to the exclusive session on the technician endorsement. So as a global talent, unlike the skilled worker visa where you need to get a COS, a certificate of sponsorship, you need to work for that company for 5 years. If the contract is for 5 years or for 3 years, depending. For the global talent visa, you don't need any job with any particular employer. You can do anything you want to do. You can set up your business. You can work for any company, but the most important thing is you can live and you can work in the UK. And these roles you've seen, the data science role, the data engineering, the data analyst role, and so on and so forth, they qualify for you to apply for endorsements. And once you get your endorsements, you take that, apply to the Home Office, and you get your global talent visa. So I'll be breaking it down because it's not just as straightforward. It takes a whole lot of meticulous planning before you even put in your application, because you need to gather evidence of what you've done before, your past experience, and so on. And you must also have 3 major technology experts, not just experts, but experts that are renowned experts. You get recommendations from them and they vouch for the skills that you have. So we always write these recommendations. At least you get one from us. And then we show you how to get the rest and how to put your application together and go ahead to submit. Okay, so the first 20 people get access to that. I'll take more questions. If you want to unmute and ask your questions live, you can also raise your hand. I'll call you up to unmute yourself. Jacobs is saying, I tried registering, but I did not see the code. Check your spam, check your junk, and you can try again. You should get the code. Benjamin is asking, I finished MSc Project Management in the UK. I work at the NHS. With your experience, which role can I learn that will help me land visa sponsorship at the NHS? So what we've seen, I'm thinking about Agile Project Management, Scrum Master, or Business Analyst. Benjamin, what we've seen is not one specific role. Ramat, that works with the NHS, she did business analysis. Ikmat, I'm not sure I showed you Ikmat's profile. I showed you Ramat, but Ikmat that works with the NHS, Ikmat did data analytics. Okay, so that's Ikmat Akinyoye. She works with the Sussex NHS Trust. You'd see data analysts with analytics. All right, Ikmat did data analytics. Gad did what? Data engineering. Okay, Gad did data engineering. So you'd see different programs across people in the NHS landing jobs. Okay, so if you decide to go for business analysis, fantastic. Since you already have project management from your university, learn a skill that can complement project management. As a business analyst, like I reeled out earlier, you will learn agile project management. You'd learn the Scrum framework. You'd learn how to use Azure DevOps to ensure you implement the Scrum frameworks across projects and so on and so forth. Okay. So learn skills that will complement your project management skills. And that's how you become competitive. So if you decide to go for business analysis, you will be in a very good spot. Let me see. Adenika is saying I'm making payments now. Absolutely fantastic. I'll take more questions. Do you have success stories in cybersecurity? We have a lot, and you just reminded me of something I almost forgot to show you. Okay. Now I can't show you all the success stories on one call. If not, this session for the rest of the day would keep on playing videos and videos and videos. Okay. So I want you to go to YouTube. All right. Some of the links you'd find on YouTube, you won't find them on my slide. Some you'd find on my slide, you won't find on YouTube. So make sure you fill the attendance, very important. So go to YouTube, search for Tenalytics. Okay, search for Tenalytics, click on that. It takes you to the page. You'd see the Tenalytics logo. Make sure you subscribe so you always get notifications when we upload a new video for you. All right, that's videos like this where you join a session, success stories, and so on. Okay, so you come to the page. I was going to show you testimonials, right? So you go to playlist, click on playlists, and then you would see where you have alumni success stories. Click on view full playlist. So the person asking about cybersecurity, there are quite a number of them here. If you come here, I played William's video. Okay, so this is William right here. This is Esther. I played Esther's video. This is Chukwebuka. Chukwebuka, how I secured a cybersecurity role after training with Tenalytics. Okay, and you'd see quite a number of them. Okay, so just come here, scroll all through. You have 166 videos to watch. Amazing professionals, amazing people, and you get to hear from them. How I got a job within 60 to 70% completion rates of my cybersecurity training at Datayo. All right. So there is no career path I've spoken about today that you won't find testimonials right here. But again, I can't have everything on my slide. I hope that makes sense to the person who asked the question. Let me see. Dolex, I've not seen your question yet. Richard is asking, so it means lawyers can be either business analysts, data analysts alongside. Absolutely. Let me look for one person and play. Let me see if I have one of the lawyers on my slide. If I do, I want you to listen to him yourself. Okay. Let me see. But if I don't, okay, yes, I have him here. Okay. So this is Temi. Temi Vaughn is a lawyer who transitioned into business analysis. So let's listen to Temi Vaughn. I want to wrap up the session in the next 5 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to click on this link and it takes us to Temi Vaughn's video. We listen to Temi. And for the person asking, right, the person asking about the lawyer, listen to Temi Vaughn. Okay.
Hello everyone, I hope you are good. My name is Timmy Vaughn. I am a lawyer and thanks to Tenalytics, I am now a business analyst. Now, I'm not doing this video because it is compulsory to do it, but because my journey with Tenalytics has been life transforming and I want to share that with you. I remember I first of all encountered Tenalytics on Instagram and I joined their free Zoom session and that session was very convincing. Even the information they shared during the session was very, very useful. I didn't join the first time, right? But the second session that I had with them, I was convinced and decided to join. And from the registration point to the welcome package and everything, they were very, very warm and welcoming. Every time I had issues, I could walk up, message any of the staff and they solved it with no hassle at all. Even during the sessions, the facilitators were very, very patient people. I've never seen a group of people who were that patient. We're about 20 something in class and they ensured that every single person was carried along. You had questions taking them back, they would always answer it with patience. The whole session was mind-blowing and this is the honest truth. Now, we're in an era where some certain skills are really required. Skills like business analysis, data engineering. And so my advocacy to you is whatever you are doing, you need one or two of these skills. Now, if you want to learn these skills, I don't think there's any other place you can learn it other than Tenalytics. Now, these are some of the reasons why. One, apart from the fact that the organization will take you through the rudiments, they will equip you with the skills needed to succeed in whatever course that you're taking. Another thing is that they help you to navigate through the tech world, especially if you've never been in the tech space before. They take you through how to write your CV properly, how to make sure that your LinkedIn is updated. Also, another interesting thing is that apart from the sessions on teaching you the skills and taking you through the course, they have various sessions, mentoring session, what to expect when you go for an interview. In fact, if you have an interview, right, maybe you've applied applied for a job and you have an interview, you can actually send the organization an email or a message and ask them to do trial interview for you. And most of them, they are experts. Like, they've been in this thing doing it for years. So they know the questions that you'll be asked. So they help you, literally taking your hand and helping you through it till you are able to succeed. And the good thing about this, again, they have an alumni group. So even when you are stuck, maybe you're already working and you are stuck, you can always message any of your facilitators to say, how can I go through this? So it's not just an organization that is concerned about your money. They are really concerned about you succeeding in whatever it is that you do. Just because I have taken this course, right, apart from applying for jobs and all of that, everything I do now, I make sure that it is data driven, right? Even in the organization that I run personally, I run a social enterprise, I make sure that I now have the skills to, when I'm asking a question using Google form, I'm able to elicit information, data, and analyze the data to make informed decisions. So my mindset has really been transformed. Apart from the skills that I have, everything I'm doing, I'm making sure that it is data driven so that I can make informed decisions. Honestly speaking, if you really want to advance, right, I think that one of the places you should be is really Tenalytics, because they just don't teach you the course that you've registered for, but they take your hand and ensure that you succeed. Have a great life.
So that's Timmy Vaughan. And the reason why I played that was simply because I think we have a lawyer in the house. Richard is a lawyer, and you were asking. So that's a lawyer who is now a business analyst. And you heard all the things he said. He also runs his own social enterprise, and everything he does today, he implements what he's learned into his business. Okay. So I hope that helps. Okay, fantastic. I think Dolex has a question. I saw that pop up. Okay. Dolex is asking, I've registered for data analytics. I want to ask if I'm going to get a job here in my province, Nova Scotia, Canada, because lately I've been getting a lot of jobs on data science. So I don't know if it's my selection because I've not data analysis. My class starts. Dolex, you don't have a problem. Okay. So you are jumping ahead of the gun. All right, you are in a good you are good to go. It doesn't matter the province you are in, Alberta, Ontario, Nova Scotia, BC. You are in a good spot as long as you've selected data analytics. Okay, so when you join your very first mentorship session, hopefully you're likely going to find me there or a Femena. You get to understand how you can start positioning yourself for jobs. First of all, there are platforms where you upload your CV and you start getting jobs based on the CV you've uploaded. So rather than seeing just the type of jobs you see now, you'd see the jobs that are tailored to the career path you actually want to get. Okay. So welcome on board, Dolex. I can't wait to have you start your journey with us, and I look forward to working with you. Let me see. Nadine says, I've registered for November business analysis from Nosdeo. Fantastic. Nosdeo. Yes, I had a session with Nosdeo. I already have access, so I'm familiarizing myself with the content. Brilliant. Is there any way to contact you in private if it's possible? Of course, there is. But one of the ways you want to contact me, connect with me on LinkedIn. Okay. So just search Adeza Suleiman. The exact way you can see my picture. Okay. Just look for me, search for me on LinkedIn, Adeza Suleiman. You will find me on LinkedIn. Send me a message. I always connect all the time. Okay. So this is my LinkedIn right here. Okay. Adeza Suleiman right there. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll be very happy to engage with you. If you have any questions, send it to me and I'll be happy to work with you. All right. Okay, let me see if we have more questions because we're wrapping up. Oh, you joined cybersecurity. Absolutely amazing. Okay. So a lot of people ask questions around accreditation and things like that. So we have an accreditation with the American Council of Training and Development. It's also on my slide. There's so many things. The slide is power packed. So if you haven't filled the attendance, you'll miss out on a lot. So if you click on the link, you'd see our accreditation with the ACTD. Tenalytics is a professional training institution, and so on. Like, so many other things around how we participated in the Alberta Catalyzer program to get closer to our North American audience and to help people in North America also thrive. So that's me right there. That's Efemena, the co-founder. The link to the article is also there. So this was organized by the Alberta government. Okay. We've eventually partnered with this organization, Alberta Innovates, and we have so many amazing sessions for people like us who are also looking to transition into the tech ecosystem. Okay, so click the link, read about what we've done, the amazing work we are doing, and you will have a good read. All right. I think we're going to call it a day at this point. Again, if you've gotten value for your time today, type in a yes into the chat. If you had an amazing time, type in a yes into the chat. Type in a yes into the chat. I can see a very long message from Titilayo. Titilayo, do you know what? I'm going to send you my email. Just send me an email, okay? All right. So I'd love, Titilayo, I just sent you an email, a message, sending you my email. So send me an email. Let's connect. Okay, so thanks for joining us today. For all of you that stayed, again, share the message. If you have a friend, you have a brother, you have a sister, you have a cousin, a contemporary, a colleague that you know can benefit from being a part of us, share the message. I'll be looking forward to working with every single one of you starting on the 8th of November or starting with us in December. Take advantage of the discount. Book a clarity session if you can. Come in and ask us all the questions. We'll be very happy to engage. Have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you some other time. Cheers, everyone.